look at top and throw some grenades. So the ground is big, and you can move in it. This is an editor, so there is some tools here. You can set the play field, for example, 3000 by 3000. The ground is automatically generated through a land shape here, through a name. And you can move with a fluid scroll and try to pass the different obstacles. But here I can't. So, in the land tab, you can model your ground with the tool and dig what you want. Yes. Dig it if you want. So you can make okay. You can dig with 3 methods. This one, which create grace. This one, which create burn flow. And this one, which create grace. Which create grace and erase the background. Like you can see, the white block here is the water. You can change the water height. Then the panda will swim, and you can go everywhere. You can see some dynamic shadows which are drawn dynamically. Here, it's some shadows. So if you dig, yes, it's a lot of FPS left. So if you go bottom, the light is darker. And the game begins to be a little difficult, a bit difficult. Okay. You swim very rapidly and jump out the water. So there is a lot of different tools. You can create decoration. Pop. You can put behind, in front of the character, rotate the different objects.
Is this all Multimedia Fusion, or did you make an extension to handle?
It's all Multimedia Fusion thanks to the overlay Redux beta version. The ground is use a lot overlay Redux, the feature overlay Redux. Okay. So you can put in front of character and put as ground too. So, for example, I can put some rocks or somewhere, and you can work in. And it's a ground, so you can throw grenades. Oh. Okay. Jump out. There is a lot of different things we can build with this editor. You can create some bridges. First point here and last point here. So the panda can try to work on it, but it's a movable bridge. And when you work, the bridge reacts on the speed, with the speed of the panda. You can cut off the bridge anytime by throw a grenade. No, I don't do that. But you can cut it manually, like that. you can create some objects, create objects, for example. Oh. So there is a very basic physics which allows each object to follow the ground, and you can create items like pineapple. Oops. Oh, I shit up. And you can take pineapple. There is weapons. There is some weapons: fire gun, plasma gun, acid gun, star gun. Fire gun is the basic one. You can take it and shoot.
Flavien, what are you using the weapons against?
Sorry?
What are you using the weapons against?
Where's the enemy?
You can play some enemies. So there is a jelly enemy. Oh!
Shoot him.
So the enemies try to follow the character, but they have their own movement. So they try to follow the character with the limit of their own movement. So for example, the copter here has an 8 movement in the air and try to follow the character as he can. For example, hey, I'm here. Come on. Come on. Copters actually are they are not very intelligent, so they can crash. Oh, that don't work.
That's how stupid they are.
So they can crash, you can trust me. So there is a lot. What is very flexible with this engine. Oh, it crashed. So what is very flexible with this engine is that you can select the different movement for each enemies. For example, I've selected copter green characters, enemies, and I've changed his move style to bouncer. So some parameters are too big, so he bounces to. Okay. So for example, I can take Granny, which has power 12 and bounce 50. If I put this character in the frame, it's like that. So he bounces and try to follow the character and explode on it. So 12 and 50, I can create a jelly, select bouncer, and 12 and 50. And the copter will jump. So there is some bug actually, of course. Okay. So that's all for Panda games, Panda Quest.
So when your game is complete, can you save it and
Yes.
there's a runtime or?
Yes, you can save it. You can save it at runtime. For example, you can load the different maps. There is a bassin which I use it for my test. And there is a water here, so you can swim.